Hello, my name is Badee, and this is my main full stack application. I used a lot of technologies like Angular, NGRX, MongoDB Atlas for the backend. I used Nest.js, and let's start with the demonstration for the app. First, it is an authentication app, and I will start with sign up with a new user. Let's start with filling some dummy information, and we have screen sheet. Check the password here. I see there's some messages and redirection to the sign in page. Now, if you want to sign in, we can see that if there is some sort of validation, we can see that there's here and sign in. And we are directed to the user profile page where we get the information from the backend using post. And also, when I sign in, I will get a token set for 8 hours, has been saved to the local storage. Here we can see it. And when I log out, the token will be deleted. Also, the routes are being protected. If I try to reach the profile page without being signed in, as there is no token, I will be redirected to the sign in page. I will sign in again, but now with a wrong password. I would see was the right. Let me try with the wrong password. And I'll see that there is a wrong password message has been sent to me. And when I go to the backend, as it is on Atlas, I can see my profile information here and the password is hashed. Also, I added a login attempt, as when the user enters a wrong password, the login attempts will increase until it does reach 3. When it does reach 3, the account gets locked. Let me demonstrate this to you. I will try to do this 3 times, and I can see here that the account has been locked because of multiple failed login attempts. I will sign up using a new email. Here we can see redirected, and let's try to sign up without a registered email. I will have some sort of validation that email is not registered. And let me just sign in again. And you can see that there's a token. This is it for the demonstration app. Let me show you how did the work and the code was. You can see here that I have a monorepo for using NGRX to register and to control the statement that I have. Let's start with the backend side. For the backend, I use technologies like Nest.js and MongoDB Atlas. Okay, here we have the source code. Let's start from the authentication file from the user DTOs. Here we have here we have the user DTOs for if the user did not enter an email that's not existed, and or like some sort of type of email that's not valid, and also if the user did not enter an email at all. Here we have the same for the sign up page. We have asked the user to fill out all the fields that it is required. And here for the interface, we have the JPayload interface for the getting the JWT. Here we have the authentication controller, it does control the routes. Here we have the main one, API, and we have the endpoint for user registration, sign up. For sign up, I used post. And also I have some sort of validation or like a message that tells the user that it has been registered successfully. And the same for the sign-in page, I used post as well. And we have also sort of validation if there's anything happens. For here, we can see that there is message, sign up failed, please try again. Or also if there's no issues, but for some reason that the authentication failed, we just send a message back. Also, we have the profile where I used get to get the information from the backend to the user, and I used guard, the authentication guard. I'll show you in a second. Here we have the module for the authentication. It tells that the token will expire in 8 hours, as also saved here on the .environment application. And here for the authentication service, I did it was mainly for authentication as well. Here we do inject JWT service to generate tokens when the user enters all sort of validation correct to the sign-in page. Here we have some simple validation for the user, for the password to be 6 characters. We do check if the email exists or not, and here we do create a new user as well. Here for the sign-in to existing user, I did a lot of checks. First, if the user is not registered, and then if the attempts are equal to 3 or less or more, we see that there is some messages sent back to the front end. And here we compare the password that has been entered with the one hashed at the backend. And if there is anything right, we do reset. And if the sign-in was all successfully, I do set the login attempts back to 0. And I do create a JWT token to the user and save it to the local storage. Here where I find the user by its email and the ID as well. Here we have the authentication guard for the JWT. And here I have the JWT strategy to save the local storage as well. And here I have the user schema, what's been required. User, email, full name, also login attempts as I added it to the project. I have the user module here, and this is my user service, where I do find the user by the email, by the ID, and how to return the only the email and the full name to the backend to show in the profile page using get. And here we do increasement to the user. Also, if the user, as I said, enters let's say if they have 2 login attempts and they enter the third one right, and the login attempts will set back to 0. And I have the controller, and that's it for the backend. Here we have the main.ts file, TypeScript, and we see that we're doing enable core for the front end and where we run the project. Now let's move to the front end. It's much simpler. For the front end, I used Angular and GRX and also I used the effects and the messages on it. Start from the sign-in page. Here we have the sign-in page form, and I have the TS file for and some sort of validation on the front end before it does get sent to the backend. For example, for the email, it does need to be in some sort of format before it be able to send to and saved at the database. Here where I do validate all fields are filled, and where I do send post on the backend using the API base URL. It's in the environment folder here. I have it sent to the backend with some route that has been assigned on the backend. Also, I do set the token here and make sure that it has been saved on the local storage. And if anything fail or something, I do send back a message. The same logic here for the sign up. I have the sign up form here, and I have the sign up logic here. So take first email validation and make sure that all the fields are filled, and make sure the password is greater than 6, and also send to the sign up page and send some sort of success messages to the user to output it. And if anything happened, it is handled here for anything bad. Here I have the shared profile, I have the authentication actions for using the ng RX developers and some effects that does show the green or the red or anything that is not working for the front end. Here we have the user profile page, here where I show the full name and the email and also a button to log out. And when it does log out, it does lead to this function. This is where I can delete the token without have to wait for 8 hours. And also here when I do some sort of validation after the user is successfully signed in, I do navigate the user profile page. And also if anything bad happens or the token is being deleted, I do send the token. After I delete the token, I do send to the sign-in page again. And if anything happened, the error handling is gonna work. And that's it for my project. I hope I will show you also the backend at Atlas as it has been required. Here we can see all the information on Atlas with all the user information. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm really excited to grow and to have the experience and the opportunity to work with Penny. I really like the company. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.